I'm Zach, and I'm recording from my bathroom.
I'm Ben, and I forgot how to do this completely.
Oh my god, well, at least you remembered your name.
Yeah, it is weird. This is definitely the longest break we've taken, and um,
5 years,
yeah, I know it feels like we've never done this. It almost feels like we never even recorded before,
right? I mean,
in a way.
our fifth anniversary of our first upload passed us right on by back in September.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
Yeah, because it really doesn't feel like it's been 5 years.
No,
In some ways, it feels like it's been 10 years. In other ways, it feels like it's been a year and a half.
yeah, yeah. I mean, like the first couple of episodes feel like they happened a long time ago, but then the what's a blur, honestly, with the show is everything from like January through April of 2020, like pre-COVID 2020 is I for some reason in my brain it's like this blank spot.
We had
Everything.
some guests on,
Yeah.
and that's, of course, the timeline of when we did our very first meetup in San Antonio.
Yeah, like I kind of remember most of the guests, but and then February was the meetup was February, right?
Yeah, like very end of
Yeah.
February going into March.
Okay, that's right.
Because, like, it feels like maybe 2 weeks after we all got back home from that trip, the whole world shut down or started shutting down.
Yeah, I went to work. I went to Sacramento for work right after that trip, and then when I got back from that work trip on that Thursday, that's when, yeah, well, at least for us, that's when it started pretty much. Yeah, and then like the week after that, everything shut down. We were frozen from travel, and well,
Yeah, we all remember how that went. But yeah, that was it's crazy to be back, and I'm glad though.
yeah,
Um Last time we
especially
recorded was just for posterity, I guess. I don't know. July was our last episode.
did it ever did it did it get uploaded?
Yes.
Okay. Because I was trying to remember what.
But we
Okay,
also
so
were on break basically from March through July because we didn't upload
okay,
after March until July. We uploaded that one time, and here we are.
okay, all right. Well, there's a lot of catching up to do, I guess. I was just trying to like get bearings because I guess I've already shared my thoughts on Wrath of Rakshasa. Then, so I don't know if I want to like repeat that. It's
I
also
think we
old.
both did,
Yeah,
but it was a new for 2025 coaster, so we can tread this covered ground, retread.
yeah. Well, what's funny is like out of all the time that we started recording the show, I rode the most roller coasters and been to the most parks during the time we've recorded the least. So I suppose that's how it works when you have a podcast about a specific topic.
Yeah.
But
Well, maybe you needed the break to reset and kind of go have the experience more to be able to refresh and come back to it.
yeah, okay. So our last episode we did discuss Wrath of Rakshasa. Okay, that makes sense. Okay,
Yeah. Well, I mean,
so basically it was our little California trip, and then new for 2025 home park dive coaster, and then basically that's where we got to pick up from.
yeah, yeah. So I guess we'll start off with a quick shout out to our buddy Lance for hanging out with us in Southern California almost a year ago.
Yep.
Because that was what was that, like early March, late February?
That was, yeah, that sounds right. I think it was like March 1st or something. Close.
Yeah, yeah. That was a blast. It was a great time. Really enjoyed that. Um, let's see. Yeah, we both got to ride Wrath of Rakshasa, but not at the same time.
Hmm.
Uh, on the
And I also,
whole, I would say, eh.
yeah, I would, well, what's funny is like I want to talk shit about the new B&M stuff, but I actually didn't experience any roughness on the ride, but I also got stuck either dead center or just left or right of center. So I was always above the track. I didn't feel roughness, but I believe that it was rough, and I'm on board to believe that new B&Ms are rough. So, and I fully anticipate that the uh, the Giga Dive is going to produce some Giga rattles.
Well, thank you
But
for not being agnostic about the rattle of Wrath of Rakshasa.
is it too rough to enjoy the ride? I don't know, but like, is it annoying? Yeah, like I think that's what's funny. I never it well. First of all, I never thought the industry would be at the point where people are acknowledging an obvious roughness to B&Ms, but also people now defending B&Ms and being like, oh, like you're just being negative, like you know, oh, you're weak, you're just being negative, you never have anything nice to say about a park or about a ride. And I think the obvious thing is, well, if it's a 20-plus-year-old company that's been producing a specific type of ride and experience and suddenly that quality goes down, I think it's fair for everyone to complain about it. So I don't know. Why are other manufacturers do not have this problem? It's only B&M. So
Well, I don't know. Like they must have. I don't know what the thing is because, like, yeah, I mean, Intamin stuff now doesn't really. It functions differently than the Intamin stuff from like the early 2000s. At least in
sure.
terms of like the lap bars and the placement of the seating and all that.
Yeah. But I mean you can ride one of the Ride of Steel clones and it's not um you know compressing the discs in your neck when you go down the bottom of a drop.
But yeah,
It's
and I'm also trying to just make the point that like Intamin has kind of evolved,
yeah.
whereas like B and M are like, I don't know, Vester strains.
Yeah. And it's still like I want the company to succeed because obviously like they're doing a Giga Dive, like that's a
That's
Giga Dive.
sick in theory.
Yeah, a Giga Dive with three Immelmans and a cutback. Is it five inversions? Oh yeah,
Uh,
there's a giant. Yeah, five giant loop, three Immelmans, one giant loop, and a cutback. So it looks like it could be. I mean, like I guess if you're gonna, that's the thing. Like a dive coaster was never. I never was really like that tickled by them. But it's if you're gonna do a dive coaster, at least in my mind, it's like, oh well, it should be 300 feet. Like if you're gonna have a cool dive coaster, it should be it should be a Giga.
well,
So
to be fair, I think Oblivion like looks sick, and that concept of just like having it drop underground for like a good portion of the drop if it's not super big is also cool.
yeah,
But Oblivion's the only one that's ever fucking done that.
yeah. I mean, it's also the prototype, so it's almost like they. I don't know. I mean, obviously, I don't know how the conversation worked, but Alton Towers was like, "Hey, we want to do something cool. We want to build like a tall coaster with a drop," and they probably went to B&M, and then B&M probably designed that style of coaster around the limitations of Alton Towers. and then suddenly parks are like, oh, that's a cool gimmick, and then copy paste.
Let's see, Tormenta. Yeah, I mean, fuck, 309. Drop is 285. There's gonna be some Kings Island fanboys
Oh, sure.
ripping that one for sure.
Yeah, because it's a reverse Orion situation.
Yeah,
And I will say too that the looking at the photos, so something that I've always been kind of um I don't know what the word is, like sensitive to it on dive coasters is if you're going to build a dive coaster, you need some really good midway interaction, and it looks like that is the case for the entrance by that parking lot. Um, but looking at the renderings, there's really no part of the midway that gets close to the ride, and that's one complaint I have because, like, the like Shikra and Griffin definitely do it best. Where when you're standing on the midway and the angle that you're looking at the drop and the ride run, like it looks like it was very designed and curated for that type of experience. And then Wrath of Rakshasa doesn't really have that, but it has like the midway goes through the ride, which is cool. Um, so yeah, that's my only complaint. Otherwise, it looks cool. I mean, I'll be excited to ride it. I don't know how the rattle is going to be. I hope it's not super bad on a 300-foot drop, but
I mean, my experience with Wrath of Rakshasa was like the drop was dope, but it's everything where
yeah,
there's any kind of like banking or, you know, movement on that axis.
yeah. Which in that
Look,
case, it's good because all the high speed stuff doesn't really have much banking. It looks like, um, because all the banking and like the Immelman should be happening when the train is weightless. So hopefully that kind of alleviates that. Also, I noticed too the first Immelman has more of a kind of a elongated inversion, so it looks like there should actually be some decent floater when you come out of it.
yeah, it looks interesting. It definitely has that like large half loop from RCT3 look to it.
Mm-hmm. And then yeah, the cutback at the end. I mean, also it's going to have 8 across. So yeah, I'm curious. I hope this isn't like the nail in the coffin for B&M because if anything, their quality is going to go down every year. It's not like it's going to like this idea that suddenly they're going to figure something out and it's going to get better. I think is a long shot. Um, but at a certain point, if there really is an issue with quality or manufacturing that's causing this roughness to new B&Ms, there will be a point where a line is crossed, and because that's kind of like the argument against it. It's usually people are like, oh well, like the GP doesn't notice and they'll still ride it, and no one's like getting injured. It's not a big deal. But at a certain point, the line will be crossed to where people will be like, that was rough, and they're not going to want to get on it again. Um, so we'll see. I
Yeah,
might get out next year, give it a try.
I'm kind of wondering how like Wrath of Rakshasa's queues are going to be in 2026.
Yeah, I suppose that's a good test. Um, because obviously the first season it's hard to tell because I think any new ride is going to pull guests, but yeah, we'll see. If it has like a 20-minute wait next year, then it's clear that it's not a fan favorite. Although I don't know, we'll see. I will say though, like when I wrote it, the people's reaction around it were actually very positive, and people were talking up the ride, and they thought it was a good, they thought it was great. So
Same, but that doesn't necessarily translate to re-rides
yeah, that's true.
because some people would be like, "Ah, I rode that one last year. I'm good, maybe," or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like I remember, it's like my parents, where it'd be like my dad would be like, "Ah, that one's okay, but I'd rather ride something else."
yeah. And it's clear that I think in that park, the big GP draws are still Superman, Max Force, V2, and Raging Bull.
And Goliath.
Does Goliath still pull? I guess, like, yeah, I guess it has to. When I
Yeah, I
was,
mean, part of that is just like the capacity's not fantastic, you know?
yeah, yeah. And that's kind of like what I always think, though, is like this is still a fairly, like, because when I was there this year, um, it only had like a 20-minute wait. Like, basically, Goliath was a 20-minute wait, and then Raging Bull was a 20-minute wait. And so if you think about the capacity per hour, or, like, people per hour on those two comparisons, like Raging Bull 20 minutes makes sense. But for Goliath, that means that there's only like what, like 150 to maybe 200 people online. I mean, it's not that much.
Like, where was the line visually?
It it was
Like in the Q house?
no, it was in front of the station,
Okay.
like on that flat, sh- like when you come out of the Q house, it's like flat, and then you're right next to you're like below the station, right in front of the old sign for Iron. Like, like when if you were standing right in front of the Iron Wolf sign,
Yeah,
yeah, it was like right there. And then Batman was like 30 minutes
that makes sense.
for two trains. Um, I don't think Goliath is unpopular. I'm curious if that's one of those weird perceptions as enthusiasts where, like, oh, of course the RMC is going to be the most popular, but I don't know if RMCs translate to GP popularity.
No, I just, it's always seems to have a long line when I've been there.
Yeah, but
Like
it's
it's in the Q house.
yeah, but also it's like hourly capacity is, I think it's the same as what Deja Vu was. It's in like the mid to upper 400s.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like the capacity is not great. So like that definitely like inflates the queue time,
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah,
But yeah, so I don't know. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Wrath of Rakshasa becomes one of the like heavy hitters of the park lineup, so to speak.
yeah. I mean, also it is in the center of the park, and because of its beyond vertical drop, I could see it. It'll probably be okay. I mean, unless it gets like ungodly rough, but um, I think its location probably will do it a lot of favors. And I guess just from like my perspective, I already sort of forget the ride is there. Like in my mind, it hasn't quite left that impression yet, unlike the other rides. Um, but yeah,
Well, here, let's see if I'm checking right now if Sifgam World has updated their banner. Uh I maybe
uh, no, that's.
Oh yeah, I guess it is.
But then where's X Flight? I think I know what you're talking about. Oh wait, okay, so there's V2. Oh yeah, yeah, that is it.
Remember
Wait, are
when
you sure? Wait, are you sure though that's not X Flight? Because are you talking about the one? No, that is it because there's the Immelman.
Yep.
So then X Flight's missing, right? There's no because I see Demon, Goliath, Batman. Yeah, I don't think there's X Flight
Well, shit.
unless X Flight is underneath the first turnaround on Raging Bull, kind of above Demon, where like all that track kind of blends together.
Yeah, it might be. It's hard to
Yeah,
tell in that area because there's like everything is like shadowed, you know?
yeah.
I know the exact like angle from the parking lot that like angle is from. But yeah, remember when Cedar Point's website had the little trains going?
Hmm. Yeah, that was pretty cool. And you could even there was even settings in like the flash panel, and you could turn certain rides on and off and like change the speed of it and stuff. I used because I don't know if you remember. Did you ever have the Shockwave player on your computer
Yeah.
where you could like download shock like flash games and stuff? Um, you could download that Cedar Point thing in the like player, and then you could play with like the settings or some. It was something like that. Good old Flash.
Wild. I just remember looking at that and being really entertained because
Hmm.
that was what the internet was in 2002
Yeah,
if you were 13.
yeah. I mean, I remember that Flash shit. Probably, I think they had it in 2000 when Millennium Force was built because I remember playing on the website before we went on our first time. And then at nighttime, the skyline would change and it'd get dark. And then the Millennium Force lift
The
hill would
yeah,
change
the
colors.
lights. Yep.
Yeah, that was cool.
Bring it back.
um, but yeah, I actually, what's weird after this summer, I think I'm going back to being like a Cedar Fair fanboy. I think my
Okay.
days of I think my days of Six Flags are numbered. Even though
You know it's
we're all
one
six,
company
we're
now,
all
right?
Six Flags. No, I know, but yeah, we're all Six Flags these days. But um, because especially like I also do think that I think I've said this before, but Great America definitely should be a Cedar Fair park.
It is.
I know that. I just mean like in its like what do you call it? It's in like the mindset. Like if I don't know, there was a U-turn in the 80s or 90s and Cedar Fair bought it instead of Six Flags, that park would be in like a much better shape. Because the Marriott stuff is more closer aligned with Cedar Fair than Six Flags and, Takis and superhero stuff,
Oh, so it's too good for Six Flags.
Well, I mean, think about the whole. Well, I guess like the Cedar Fair to me is very like it's very Americana, just in its like general theme. And Great America is an Americana theme park, and so it just sort of there's like a handshake there. Whereas when it was Six Flags, you're having superhero themed things in like Yankee Harbor, and I don't know. It's just obviously like we're used to it, and so as a kid, like growing up as kids there, like going on Batman and Superman and stuff, I think that nostalgia connection is there. But if you take a step back and like, oh, I've never stepped foot in this park, I think it's better as a Cedar Fair park.
Yes.
Just my
I guess I
opinion.
can see that. Hey, I need to take a break for 1 sec. We're back. Okay. Yeah, so I think I can get on board with what you're saying about Cedar Fair being more aligned culturally with Great America's theme inherently.
Yeah.
But I also kind of look at California's Great America. Granted, that had a lot of Paramount influence.
Oh, Paramount ripped everything out of that park pretty much. Like that's what I think that's like what the difference is, and even within King's Dominion and King's Island and or Carowinds even. I always forget that one was Paramount too, is that like the Paramount did a number on those parks. So it's a little different. Whereas at least Six Flags, I think, kept a lot of it, and at least at Great America or Gurney Great America, like for the most part, things are intact. Like the basic infrastructure is still there.
I
Um,
mean, at California's Great America, it's basically like the left, or no, the right side of the park from entry is still kind of intact,
mhm.
but everything on the right is funky past Orleans Square
Yeah, yeah,
or
that's
Orleans
true.
Place.
Yeah, and I think, yeah, I don't know. I guess so. It's hard to say. Like maybe, I don't know. Maybe in a way, Six Flags preserved it because I also remember the Warner Brother days were actually pretty good at the park. And from what I heard too is that when Warner Brothers owned Six Flags, they definitely put more investment into Great America. And then I think over Six Flags newer management, the chain was just struggling so much that they weren't able to put the money that they needed to into Great America. And then now I think Cedar Fair wants to make Great America its one of its more higher tier invested in parks. So hopefully that's the case because I think it deserves it. I mean, it's probably on par with like Kings Island and Cedar Point as far as like attendance and revenue and stuff.
Yeah, no, it's that's the thing is like I think I can't imagine any of their parks still, even after with Six Flags, anything outperforming Knott's.
No,
But so let's put Knott's to the side. We'll say the
and
other
that's
top
and
perf-
that's its own thing too. Like that's not even like that's a special case that pork.
well, it's just yeah, it's because it operates 364 days of the year and it's so close to Disneyland. So it's in its own kind of thing. Um, so putting that aside, I got to imagine top performers in the full portfolio, probably Cedar Point, Kings Island, Carowinds, Great Adventure, Great America, maybe Magic Mountain.
I think Great Adventure and Magic Mountain are kind of at the bottom. Like I think from I mean, I could be wrong, but I think with those parks is that their revenue is high, but their cost of operation is also very high. And then also I think Magic Mountain's problem is that because it's year round, there's a lot of days where it just doesn't make any money. I think Great Adventure wasn't really near I don't know, I could be wrong. I think like what makes Kings Island, Cedar Point, and Great America successful is just that they're short seasons and pretty much there's no dead days at that park. Like or those three parks. Like pretty much when it's open between Memorial Day and Labor Day, or and actually I guess even if you can count Fright Fest too, like those parks are pretty much slammed every day they operate.
Yeah, they're turning the turnstiles for sure. But I mean, that's the thing is like Magic Mountain is weekends only during the off season, you know? It's not like 365 like it used to be.
Let's see.
And honestly, I'd be surprised at this point if they don't maybe close up for January or something.
Um I'm trying to use. Oh god damn it! Jesus Christ! AI strikes again. Have you been watching? Have you seen Pluribus?
No, but Rian's been watching it.
Okay, so I don't know if this is net revenue, but apparently, yeah, this can't be right because on this list in this ranking, Great America is near the bottom, and Six Flags Magic Mountain is at the top. I don't.
Yeah,
Maybe
no
this.
way.
Maybe this list doesn't exist. But either way, um I just think Great America deserves more love, and I think that this new merger is actually going to give it what it needs. And unfortunately, though, it's going to come at the cost of losing parks like Six Flags America and the other Great America. But I think Illinois deserves the better one anyway.
Well, I mean, I agree. Great America deserves the love, but I also feel like Six Flags tried because they wanted to develop a whole entertainment district across the highway in
Mm-hmm.
that area that became the business park. And the town of Gurnee fought them on it.
Yeah, I mean, and maybe that just doesn't work there. I think there's enough people who live within a day trip drive to where it's probably okay without that. Um, but I also think, yeah, and I think the problem with Six Flags is that Six Flags just had so many underperforming parks in their portfolio that any excess money that Great America brought in just had to go to the other parks, or it's net losses.
Well,
And
yeah,
so now,
for many years in the Premier Parks era, they added shit to every park every year, and it was irresponsible as fuck.
yeah,
The same year they added V2 and Deja Vu. Isn't that the same year they built like five fucking coasters at Geauga Lake to try and compete with Cedar Point?
uh, yeah, that sounds right because it was X Flight and X Flight was new. Well, I don't know if was it the same year. Maybe it was earlier than that. Because Villain was 2000 with Superman, Ultimate Escape, and Dominator or Night Flight. I think I could just click on this hyperlink on the screen I'm staring at right now, but
Oh yeah, okay. So it was 2000. They added the kids coaster, Dominator, Batman, whatever it was called at the time, Steel Venom, which is Superman, and Villain. And then they added X Flight in 2001.
yeah, so I think that was probably one of those panic purchase situations of like, oh shit, Cedar Point's building a 300-foot coaster. Let's compete with it. Which is like really dumb. It's funny, but like, yeah. When if you could have just probably built an emergency Giga coaster. Like that would actually be kind of funnier if like they went to like instead of
Fucking
building five
Vekoma in 2000 or 99.
or Arrow.
Can you
Man,
make
and
the
that
hook design 300 feet tall?
actually like that imagine like the alternate universe that would could have been though, or even like Togo. Because I know
Fucking
Superman Krypton
Togo.
because Superman Krypton coaster was supposed to be a Togo originally. Um so Togo was still probably in the business back then. But yeah, dude, that would have been so funny if like Jago Lake, they were just like, oh shit, let's compete with Millennium Force, and they build a 315-foot tall uh, Togo as the hook, or maybe it was like a shuttle coaster or moonsault scramble type of ride, or that'd have been.
Manhattan Express, but bigger.
We missed out, but
That'd have been crazy. That was such a crazy fucking time to be an enthusiast. Cause
yeah.
also like fucking Son of Beast happened.
Hmm.
And the fact that that ever happened is just wild.
Especially from that company, which still is that's another dumb fucking like who like. I mean, I would imagine that parks are a little bit more responsible with companies and purchasing rides from them, but just given the history of because what was it, RCCA?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what was their pitch? Oh, how much do the other guys want from you?
Yeah.
Oh, we'll do it for half that.
And then at a certain point, you got to be like, like I don't know. It was just stupid on their part. But I'm imagining that these companies have learned since then, and maybe that's why Vacoma's taking a little bit longer to new Vacoma's taking a little longer to pick up steam.
Right, or like Mach.
Yeah.
Because
Which
20
by the
years ago, the Vacomas were rough pieces of shit, and Mach made family coasters.
hmm By the way, though, the new Vacomas are. It's. I was shocked how good it was. Also, because like all companies have probably. Well, I think they all do that, but there's the like ride. They're like, what is it? The Centerline program. Where are you on Discord right by chance right now?
No, but I can pull it up.
Like if you go into the coaster games, um, and if you scroll up, there's like a screenshot that I posted of something of the thing called V or FVD Plus, posted on 11/21.
Discord's opening. Here we
Okay,
go.
because this is the first time I've ever played around with this program, and I had like a I don't know what you call it, a change of heart, or like an epiphany about coaster designs after playing with the software.
Okay, so what? Explain what that is.
Okay, so I know it looks, and this thing it looks like a confusing image, but it's not. It's the easiest. It's like it's cheating. Like years of playing Roller Coaster Tycoon and early No Limits and like Planet Coaster. So basically, what you do is you design a ride by controlling. You basically draw the ride forces. So okay, so like on the chart on the bottom where it has like blue lines, red lines, and green lines.
Yeah.
So the blue line is positive G's, the green line is lateral G's, and then the red line is banking. So basically, what you do is you like on the blue line, right? You draw a, let's say, like a 10-second line, or like a 10-second long segment, and you're like, I want this force to start at 0 G and end at 4 Gs, and then within the 10 seconds I also want a 180-degree roll. And what it'll do is the track will design around those forces, so you don't place track pieces, you're literally just drawing um like seconds of forces, and then the ride gets designed automatically for you. So what you do is like you're like, okay, I want a bunny hill. So then what you do is like, okay, I want 4 seconds of 3.5 Gs, and now I want 6 seconds of 0 G. and then it'll design the perfectly parabolic hill. And then you're like, okay, now oops, like this is a little too long. So now you go to the previous one, you change it to, you shave off a second. And now you're like, okay, now I can squeeze in one more half second of airtime. It's like, it's hard to explain without just like showing it live. But yeah, it's fucking cheating. And this is what all,
Interesting.
and that's what all of these, that's what all these companies are using nowadays, because you can make perfect zero G rolls. I guess like the funny thing about it is like you can make what looks like a really crazy random kind of track element, but the ride forces are perfectly calculated. So if you were riding it, it would be a super smooth experience. And
Hmm.
that's like what RMC and New Vekoma is using. Um, but it kind of takes the soul out of designing coasters. And this is like a kind of a boomerang on coaster designing and as a non roller coaster engineer. But
Oh, here comes Ben.
but like, it was kind of, I imagine old designs where you basically, you think about where you're trying to, where you want the track to go, and then you draw something, and then you calculate the forces and then make adjustments. Whereas this, you design the ride based off of the forces. So it's, and then of course, if you're RMC, you're just like, okay, how do I squeeze absolutely as much airtime into the layout as much as possible? And then that's where you get the kind of like soulless, repetitive, um, RMC, modern RMCs, kind of like Steel Vengeance is, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Steel Vengeance is like, how much airtime can you squeeze out of a layout? And then basically you got that, which is why the rides feel like they're missing something.
I mean, they don't feel like wooden coasters to me.
No. On the flip side, though, I think Vekoma has figured out how to use that software to maximize forces in like a good way, because I don't know what it is about Siren's Curse, but well, what's funny too is like none of the forces on the ride are incredibly forceful. I don't think anything really ever exceeds like 3 Gs, but the way that the forces hit your body are very unique to any other manufacturer right now. It's almost like there's always a force on your body in some direction. It's kind of like you'll go directly from positive G's to laterals to airtime to back to positive. It's nonstop through all the rolls and the bunny hills and the inversions. It's yeah, I was shocked. Like that ride is so much fun, and it is a very sleek, very smooth, very precise ride. But it's precise like in a good way, and it's very very fun.
Oh, so Vekoma good, RMC bad?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, actually, the modern RMCs are actually, I actually really liked Wildcat's Revenge. I think that was like a newer one. I think I figured it out. It's really just the Alan Shilkey RMCs I'm not a big fan of. The new ones are fine. Whoever, I don't know who designs those, but isn't it a new guy?
Yeah, new guy Steve. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a difference, and it's noticeable. Um, no, the new Vekoma is awesome. Like I'm really excited to see these go elsewhere. Um, Also, Cedar Point pulled off the perfect theming for like the budget that they clearly had, like the low budget they clearly had. Remember those? Remember those TLC shows in the early 2000s, like Trading Spaces or um, I don't know. There's all sorts of different ones where it's like, this couple has a budget of $1,500 to make over a bedroom.
Yeah.
It's kind of what the vibe that the theming of Siren's Curse is, but it's pulled off so well that you don't notice it's low budget. Um,
Okay.
it's almost like they gave they gave someone who's like a huge coaster. Almost imagine like if Nolan was a like really big Planet Coaster nerd, and they're like, okay, you have 48 hours. You get to design the theming of this new coaster. And then like just went completely nuts on Planet Coaster. And then it's literally when you stand in the queue, it literally feels like you're inside of the game of Planet Coaster. It's really funny.
Interesting. I'm looking at some pictures right now. I'm pulling it up. Um,
Also, too, the queue line has a really good soundtrack. It's basically like a radio station that
okay.
it just plays basically like summer, like very good nostalgic like top 40 summer hits from like all different decades. Just like it's the playlist is perfect. Like the music selection, someone knew what they were doing. Um, and then it has like it's like there's like a DJ in between the music. Um, and it sounds just kind of like a local radio station. And even what's cool too, they have that I don't know what you call it. There's like a flat effect on it to make it sound like it actually is from a radio station.
Okay.
I don't know how to describe it. Also, a Planet Coaster thing, which I thought was kind of funny because when you play music through speakers on Planet Coaster, it kind of flattens the audio settings and it actually sounds like it's radio, kind of that like tingy AM kind of classic, I don't know, sound. Um, just little things like that. You could just tell like whoever was in charge did a really good job with the short timeline and the low budget.
For sure. I mean, I really would like to go check it out. Haven't been to Cedar Point in a couple years.
What's funny too is the ride has it's kind of surrounded by water, but the water is like it's like 4-inch deep water that they just dyed black to make it look deeper.
Did it work?
It works. Yeah, you can't tell the difference.
Well, that's all it needs then.
Yeah. Also, too, the queue line goes like through the ride. Um, and then at nighttime, the trains have this really cool, um, kind of like neon LED effect. So when it starts getting dark, it looks like I mean, I've never seen a siren in real life, but it kind of looks like almost like an animal, like the ride, like especially the motions of the train. It looks like just this thing is like diving in and out of the water, and it like dives up and twists, and then it dives back down. It's like visually very. It's a very fun ride to watch in the queue line. Um, Probably like honestly one of my favorite new for like coasters I've probably been on in a very very long time.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice. Yeah, no, I know you went out for Lance's meetup at Cedar Point and Kings Island, right?
yeah. So that was part of. So I met up with Nathan and flew to Richmond, and then we hit King's Dominion for a couple hours. Got on Pantherion, which is not a new credit, but it was painted. So
New experience, new credit.
yeah, yeah. So we got on Pantherion, got on. Oh yeah, also I forgot the wing coaster, the Raptera, which was rough. Did you see the videos of the launch? Remember, like
Yeah.
yeah. What was funny was like I loved all the comments of people being like, "Oh, don't worry, this is just test footage. It's not going to be like that. They're still working on it." No, literally, that's exactly what the train does when it runs in normal circumstances. Oops, sorry.
Well, damn.
It's like when you're on the launch, it feels like you're on Magnum's like final bunny hills. It's just like doo, 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 like your legs and your whole body just bounces out of the seat. And then
Damn.
yeah, every every like bottom kind of trough of the ride, it's just the whole thing just bounces like crazy.
That seems similar to what I experienced on Wrath of Rakshasa.
Yeah. And I mean, I get it. The trains are wide, but also it's like, okay, so if you have this lower quality manufacturing thing that you're doing to save money, then why are you building these coasters with such wide trains? But I mean, like the layout was really cool. Like it could have been a really cool ride. The theming also, they also did a really good job with the theming on it too. Um, it's just, yeah, just the roughness of it just wasn't up to par, which was unfortunate. And then, yeah, I got a front row ride on Dominator, and it was a lot better than I remember last year. And then we drove out to Holiday World, and it was hot as fuck. It was like 90, I don't know, it was like in the mid upper 90s, which that park, if you're not going to the water park and you're walking along the whole thing, especially if you go way out to Thunderbird, is hellish. But um,
Yeah, it's all hills.
yeah, but the park was dead, which is good. Also, although it kind of was a downside because it was Nathan's first time there, so of course I was like hyping up, Legend and Raven, but all the we didn't get any rides on those two coasters where the train was more than maybe a third of the way full. And when the trains are empty, it just, the trains are just shuffling and bouncing more, and they don't run as fast. So, um, definitely wasn't as good as it was running when we were all last there during Hollywood Nights in 21.
Oh yeah, and by the nighttime when it's all warmed up.
Yeah. And it's been full of, it's been carrying Acers all day. And
Yeah, right.
yeah. Voyage is running really good. Way better than it was last time we were there. Um, Probably some of the best rides I've had on that coaster since it probably opened. Because I honestly didn't really remember very good Voyage rides when we were there last time. And then Thunderbird was great, especially compared to riding Raptera the day before, like literally the day before, less than 24 hours. Completely night and day comparison. Thunderbird is still smooth. The launch is still good. The elements still hit. And then we got on Good Gravy, which is actually pretty fun. It's got a little like Thanksgiving themed queue house where you go through this, I guess, like grandma's house, and you're going through different rooms, and there's even a bathroom, which is kind of funny.
That's
And
cute.
it's air conditioned. It smells
Looks
like
fun.
food and stuff. Yeah. Um, and then then we drove to Kings Island, and I actually had a really fun day at Kings Island, which I was telling those guys, like, especially during this, I think Kings Island and Kings or Cedar Point have like a very defined like summer feel. Like there's something about being in those parks when it's miserably hot and humid in the middle of summer that kind of just like adds to that Midwestern, I don't know, theme park experience. But it was hot, brutally hot and humid. Um, so we got on the classics, got on like Diamondback and um, Banshee and Flight Deck and stuff, and then we left the park for a couple hours just because it was so ungodly hot, and then came back at night. Got really good night rides in. Had like the best ride I've ever had on the Beast. The Beast is running so good, and now I kind of like understand why people love the ride. So I was happy to get like one of those night rides, like summer night rides in to where people kind of always throw it in their top 10. So I kind of get it now. I've been converted.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
It's so good. Like, especially just like a night ride when it's super hot. Cause I don't know, it's definitely better than anything I've had on it before. We also had edibles. I don't know if that helped, but you know, same with Orion. We got a good night ride on Orion, and same thing. It was like, holy shit! Like, I get why people love this ride now. Um, so yeah, I think that's just the key. Is like sometimes you just have to ride those rides on a super hot, humid day when the park is open from 10 to 10, just to get those like those like what really good fast kind of rides in. Um, what else happened there? Mystic Timbers was still good. Beast, I actually thought the Beast was better though after that ride. And then yeah, and then after that we had 2 days at Cedar Point, which is a lot of fun. Already mentioned Siren's Curse, awesome ride, loved it, and finally got on Top Thrill 2. Got a couple rides on it, front row, back row, and I agree. I think it's a worthy replacement. I was a little skeptical, but I think it's good, and it's a better full rounded experience, and it's modern and it's been updated. The back spike is really cool. The launch on the second time is still, it's not as thrilling, but like it's still going 120 miles an hour. The lap bars are comfortable. Um, yeah, they did a good job. So, if anything, I think the one disappointment I had of that park visit was actually on Magnum. Magnum was like the only time, I guess, in recent memory where I rode it, and I just wish it was running a little better. Um, and then like Raptor was down, and Gemini was down. Um,
That's a bummer.
yeah,
How about Magnum?
Magnum wasn't down. Oh, it did go down actually our last day there for a couple hours. Yeah, not as good as I remember.
Shit. How about Millennium Force?
Millennium Force is still fine. Like we got a night ride on it, and I still think that that coaster is only really worth to ride at night. Um,
You're such a hater.
I know that's because like it's not good in the morning, and that's, I know it's a harsh opinion. It's just like when you ride that ride in the first hour the park is open, it's just not running that fast. And when it's not running fast, the airtime's not as good.
That's true, but the first drop makes up for it.
Yeah, but I mean, I think like that the night ride on Millennium Force is like it's still one of those top park experiences, but um yeah, it's just I don't know how much faster it runs at night once it's warmed up, but it's notice like the airtime is definitely noticeable on the two bunny hills.
Yeah,
Um
absolutely. It's better. The bunny hills are better in the front, but the first drop's way better in the back.
yeah.
But like, I don't know. That ride's awesome. Don't be a fucking hater.
I don't hate the ride at all. Um I just, I'm aware of what the ride is. It's important to, you know, acknowledge what the ride offers. Um, Maverick was, and then like like the other ones, like Maverick was same as it usually is. It's still good. Um, Interested to see if the roll comes back. That's a rumor that people are floating around because apparently the ride is going to be retracked as well, which is kind of funny to think about, being that it's less than 20 years old. But
It's almost 20 years old though.
yeah, but I don't know. I'm curious, like why the ride has to be retracked. If it just, I don't know if it just has that much like stress going on it, or
Possibly. It's got really intense forces like in every curve.
yeah. But if the roll comes back, that'd be pretty cool. But I've also always wondered why they didn't just make a longer drawn out roll, because they kind of have the space. But we'll see. That'd be,
Well,
if that happens, that'll be sweet.
well, fuck. It's been 19. almost 19 years now. So
Yeah,
no time like the present, right?
yeah. And with the new way that management is treating their, flagship parks, I definitely could see them giving Cedar Point, God's Park, the special treatment on doing something like that.
Maverick 2,
Yeah.
roll over.
Oh, we also did get so Steel Vengeance, the crew will send the last train of the night around twice. I think it's on the last two trains. They'll send it around twice, which is kind of cool. Um, but because this is so well known, like we've talked about this so much about how the Thuzy kind of hobby has gone very mainstream and TikTok and Instagram and all that stuff. So now you get like this basically a group of probably 40 plus people, kind of like Thuzies, all waiting out at the entrance, waiting for them to close the line, just to ensure that they're the last ones in the queue line to get the double ride. Um, so that was interesting to witness. But yeah, we got the double ride on it. It was a lot of fun, and that ride's still good. I don't hate the ride at all. I had a lot of fun on it, especially a night ride on it. But I still don't have um that Gen Z opinion hype on it like a lot of people do. I think it's still good. I don't,
God's coaster.
no. I have a theory. Okay, this is a joke, and I promise it's a joke. I don't actually feel this way, but I was thinking, how like I think the reason why people love Steel Vengeance is because it is like a pure dopamine hit of airtime, which makes sense because think about this like epidemic of iPad kids who are chronically addicted to phones and like screens and social media and like essentially have that like hijacked dopamine addiction in their brain. And it makes sense that those types of people love Steel Vengeance because it is just pure airtime, nothing else. It's like you're getting a main line of drug just pumped into you when you ride that ride. And so I think that's why the younger generations love that coaster, the iPad kids. Is that a
Okay.
theory? That's just a theory. But
I mean, I guess I
makes
can see where you're coming
makes it
from. It at the same time, I'm like, what? In contrast to other fucking roller coasters,
I mean, yeah, like what is like think about Steel Vengeance is ranked as like the number one coaster by any enthusiast under the age of what, 25, 30 compared to other rides. I don't know. It's just I think that's why RMCs are so popular though cuz like airtime is basically like a it's like if you're like a junkie for airtime, you know what I mean? Like that's basically what that ride offers is just pure airtime. Nothing else.
can I get a hit?
You go from scrolling TikTok to sitting down on Steel Vengeance to getting your airtime hit to then going back to scrolling TikTok.
Next thing you know, you're sucking dick for an RMC.
Somewhere in the world that has happened. At least once.
I need to just get up the exit, man.
And at Cedar Point, that wouldn't surprise me at all. But overall, fun time. It was actually really fun to go back into that park during the summer and absolutely sweat balls. What's disgusting though is anytime what thing though that I never forget is when you sit down on a coaster and it has like other people's sweat in it to where when you sit down you get wet.
You don't find that comforting?
It's disgusting. But also like
You don't feel like squish squish. Ooh, now my ass cheeks are extra comfy.
ugh. And then like there's people who probably will go home sometime and like not shower. That's like one thing that has always
Dude, I
embittered.
assume only about a quarter of the people at any theme park, anytime I'm there, have taken a shower that day.
Yeah. And just I want to there should be like a fun little study on this, like a blacklight test or something about how much sweat you accumulate on your body and your clothes at just spending a day in a theme park in August and 95 degrees.
That's disgusting.
Oh yeah, Monster Mansion or whatever, Boo Blasters or whatever it's called now. That's closing. So,
Fuck.
um, you know, also what's interesting to see is like so Kings Island is Cedar Point and Kings Island, and I suppose even Great America. You know how there's every ride has that local celebrity of the person who always rides the ride.
What do you mean?
Um, there's always it's always like, oh, that's Millennium Force Bob. Oh, that's Raptor Sue. Oh, that's chair swing Alice. I don't know. Like there's just like those like celebrities in the park that everybody knows where they just ride that one coaster over and over and over all season.
Sure.
So Kings Island has one of those for the Boo Blasters.
Uh oh.
It's just someone that just rides that ride every single day and they know all the secrets and they're able to max out the score and um yeah, we witnessed that. It was kind of funny. And then of course like in lines all the like thuzies are able to clock each other and be like, "What's your score?" "I have 1700." But yeah, that's always another
You
that's
know,
another
it is okay to socialize with individuals at theme parks sometimes.
I agree. No, I agree, but like there are but like I'm just saying, you know what I mean?
I mean, it is Ohio.
I'm not talking there's
I
90
and I apologize for nothing.
I mean, yeah, 90% of the time it's fine. I just mean like there's always I don't know, this kid was just like bragging, right? Like he was just looking to brag. It was just kind of annoying. It's like we get it.
Yeah, that kid lives in Ohio. That's what he has going on. His score on Boo Blasters. We get to visit. He has to stay.
That's true. It's a good way to put it. Yeah,
Well, I've
there's
been
also
thinking about it since you said it makes sense that like Kings Island and Cedar Point exist in Ohio.
yeah, because it's Ohio.
Yeah, because like they need that shit.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much going on in the summer there, but it is fun. Like I get it. It was fun to like dip the toe in the water again and relive those old days. And oh yeah, there's also Kings Island also has a new Vekoma Junior Boomerang.
Isn't it the same as Good Gravy?
Yeah, I think it's a clone. I think, or it's pretty close. Oh, we also rode the Yellow Submarine ride. The ride op clocked us as thuzies and convinced us to ride, and so we did. You know the little in like the Planet Snoopy, it's like a yellow submarine that just uh,
Hey, you group of men of diverse ages for no inexplicable reason.
it's like yeah, it's like we got two young children and a mom riding this. We need a couple more bodies. I forgot what it's called. Basically, like the mini version of Trailblazer. Camp Cartoon Network had one of those too.
Yeah,
The old Scooby
yeah.
Doo bus. Yeah, so we all crammed in one of those. And also, what's terrifying is that those kiddie rides have locks. Like they're locked with a key, so you can't open them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so you're just trapped in this like metal tube that has no airflow. It's a good sport. I wish I could grab his name. He seemed like a cool guy. So props to him. Thanks for the ERT. And then
Yeah, it's pretty dead giveaway. What? Four dudes in Ohio?
yeah, it's yeah. um oh, I did have the only bad experience I had with a staff member was on Orion. We got a night ride in the front row, and this ride op was clearly just like they were just like having a bad day. You could feel it. Also, the ride came out of a breakdown, and actually, well, this goes in a little side story I thought of when I was there. So first, imagine a movie about a mechanic at a theme park who, low self esteem, probably like divorced, just like imagine like a typical, just sad kind of guy. Um, but as a ride op, he gets a thrill every time he fixes the ride, and then the station, like the ride goes down for 30 minutes, the mechanic comes up, he's like the hero saving the day, starts the ride back up, everyone starts cheering for him, and he starts getting like super super arrogant, so then he starts breaking the ride on purpose just to like get the praise every time the ride comes back up. um anyway, the that happened. This guy like came up, the ride was down for 30 minutes, and this guy showed up on the platform and everyone started cheering for him, and he was like waving and was like the little celebrity. I was like, that'd be a cute movie. um
I am picturing Sean William Scott for
yeah,
some reason.
yeah. And then maybe he becomes like suicidal and decides to completely break the ride, and the ride crashes or something, and there's casualties, and he lets his ego gets to his head.
Wow, that got dark as fuck.
um but yeah, we got a front row ride on Orion, and the ride op was clearly having a bad day. They were arguing with the team lead about something. I think that it's like classic situation, been working all day, they just want to get cut to go home. There's still a 30-minute line. It's hot, I've been there. But I ate an edible, of course, and the edible was kicking in, and I'm trying to buckle my seatbelt, and I took like maybe literally 2 extra seconds. Like I didn't, because like I was sitting down and you have to like dig on the side of it to pull the little yellow tab, to pull it across to you. Um,
Yeah.
I took maybe 2 extra seconds, and this ride up was impatient because she's just trying to like get the lap bars down to get the train out. Um, then so they did one of those things where like she started to grab it. So then I take my hand off of it, like, oh, okay, like go for it. Like and then like, she's like, are you going to buckle? And I was like, wait, yeah, okay. And then I grab it, and then I wasn't taking long enough. So then she grabs it out of my hand and is trying to like pull it across my waist. Um, and then it completely staples the shit out of me. Like I've never been stapled that hard on a clamshell. Um, but like clearly this was like full body weight. She just totally gut punched it down. Um,
Wow.
but it's like, what are you gonna do? Complain about it? Like, I've been there. I've done that to people. I get it, but it's annoying. Ryan was still good though. Either way.
Yeah, like I lost the feeling in my legs.
But it's like, yeah, what are you gonna do? You're a 35-year-old man. You're gonna go to guest relations and complain because overworked ride op stapled you. Nothing.
Excuse me, ma'am. It was an extremely enduring situation,
If it was someone we knew, they would have tried to get some exit passes out of it.
right?
Yeah. Um,
It was
yeah.
rather traumatic. I demand compensation. I would like it in the form of 3 groups of 4 exit passes.
Oh, also Banshee. I got a bit of a redemption ride on Banshee. Banshee rode it front row later in the day in the evening, and yeah, I I don't know if I loved it. I don't think it's like a god tier invert, but yeah, definitely went ranked shot a little bit higher up on my list compared to previous rides on it.
Well, look, I'll try it again next time I'm at Kings Island.
Yeah, it's just funny. I don't know if it was just because of the hot weather or something, but yeah, all the B&Ms were running pretty good, and obviously the Beast with its new track and um, hot weather definitely gave it a pretty wild ride. Yeah, I Kings Island was one of the surprises of the trips of a park that I actually really enjoyed. So I was happy to have one of those kind of days there.
Yeah, dude, and Ohio's legal now.
Yeah, yeah, we checked out one of the dispensaries there. Um, I don't remember what I had. So I had these edibles that I bought that at first I thought I got screwed. I got screwed because this dispensary they had their whole menu of edibles, but they were also having stuff that would like it's like, oh, like this is a good one if you're looking for CBG, and this is a good one if you're looking for whatever THCV and stuff like that. So at first when we were at the dispensary, I was just like, whatever, I'm just gonna like buy the cheapest pack because I'm probably only gonna have 3 out of the 10 anyway. So I ate them and like I didn't feel shit for probably 2.5 hours. It was the longest um like come up of an edible I think I've ever had. To the point where I was like, fuck, like I think I got sold CBG edibles that have no THC in them. And I was kind of like bummed out about it. And then eventually, like 2.5 hours later, it kicked in. Um, yeah, it was weird.
Interesting.
And I mean, it was nothing. Like normally, sometimes you get like a slow come up that lingers, but this was like nothing, zero effect, nothing going on. 2.5 hours. Um, but after it creeped
Like,
up, it
how high
was
did you get?
um like a normal 30 milligram edible feeling.
Okay. Yeah, I'm like leery about edibles since Knott's Berry Farm.
Didn't you do like 100 milligrams or
Yeah,
something
I had
though?
a 100 milligram drink because normally that's about as much as it takes for me to actually feel an edible.
Yeah,
But the problem is, you also run the risk of like it hits really fucking hard.
yeah. I mean that joint we smoked too hit me hard because I had like zero flower tolerance at all
Yeah, and that
then.
was like
So
an
like,
infused joint or something.
yeah, I still like it was. I was so high when because we did front row on Accelerator,
Yeah.
and I had this like very vivid image of the cable snapping like right before we launched.
Yeah. You kept talking about it. And like I was just like, yeah, you guys go ahead in the front row. And I was in the second row.
Which like normally obviously like normally like as a enthusiast those types of things aren't a big deal, but like when you're too high, like
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, it is, yeah, 80 miles an hour. The
Ooh,
giant steel cable that's just out in the open right there.
yeah. And it's
And,
happened before.
yep, and it's Intamin. Like, and it was less, yeah, it was less about the fact. It was like, I get, yeah, it was less of the fact of it, of me thinking it was going to happen when we were riding it. But for me, I was just thinking about, I could like envision the super graphic detail of like, okay, I wasn't there when the cable snapped, but I can imagine exactly like what it looked like, what it sounded like what the cable, the cable must have looked like if you were on the ride. You know, like the way the train would have felt when it rolled back over on top of it. Just like those like very detailed, like those very vivid details were just like popping in my brain as we were sitting there. I was like, oh shit, this
That's
could have this could have even been the exact train too.
that's so awesome. Just the entire sequence from fucking Final Destination 3,
hmm
but just on accelerator.
Yeah.
But no, I got really high cuz that joint hit and then we went in and I was already pretty high and then we got in line and that entire drink hit at once and like you know how you when you first like get like an edible really hits and like your heart starts racing,
hmm
that like happened and I'm like, is that because of the roller coaster? Holy shit. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. I know what you mean.
but yeah, I'm really leery about doing edibles at parks like that now.
I mean, I think 30 is a good amount. Um, but also too, like having a positive, like King's Dominion last year, um, was probably one of my favorites just because it hit perfectly and like had like all the rides we ran on were like perfect. Um, then same at King's Island too. I did. It was a little bad. Um, Actually, sorry. Do you mind if I take a quick piss break?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, 1 second. Oh, thank God. Yeah, like park environments matter because I had a pen that time at Great America this past summer by myself in June, and I just kind of got like a weird vibe when I went in there. I mean, it could have just been the fact that it's home park. There's just a lot of memories. Maybe just that adds paranoia to it. I don't know. Um, but I've noticed the less familiar the park is, the more enjoyable the edible experience is. When everything's new and familiar, like especially roller coasters you're not familiar with, or you haven't ridden in a long time, or it's your first time. I think that's like the best.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really remember any other time doing like big edibles at a park. I feel like that would be fun at Disneyland for sure.
hmm Yeah, and that's like a whole thing now. I keep occasionally I'll see a YouTube video where it's like, watch me eat an edible and walk around Disney.
Yeah, that seems fun as hell. Not worth making a video of yourself doing, but fun.
Yeah, I encountered this one a while ago. It's like eating I ate an edible and run around New York City, and it's just this guy filming himself running around New York City, getting higher and higher.
Okay. That seems boring.
Yeah, I mean, I scrubbed through it. It was okay.
I I don't know. I feel like part of the thing is like I'm a flower guy, you know. And I'm really now like a dry herb vape guy
Yeah.
because I have a volcano and a mighty, and that's pretty much exclusively what I use. So like edibles hit different, dabs hit different, you know.
Hmm.
So, but one thing I want to try more of is mushrooms at parks.
Yeah, and it's sometimes it's kind of a tightrope walk. It's like I enjoy it, but also it can you just gotta like plan your day. Um, we didn't have any problems in March, which was good.
Yeah,
Um,
Magic Mountain was a blast. That said, couple rides I knew were a little too intense for where I was at.
yeah. I also kind of just got like I think for me, I was in a weird bummed out headspace at Magic Mountain. Not unlike Knott's Berry Farm. Knott's Berry Farm just had like such a more positive park environment to me, at least. Um, I don't know what that was about, but
That's interesting because
Magic Mountain,
I always like Magic Mountain. I like going there, but I think that's purely nostalgia based.
yeah, and that's kind of what I had. Like, obviously, wanting to go there as a kid, the excitement of X2, and just having all the roller coasters, and I think this past trip though is I realized I was like, I don't really like any of the coasters here. Um,
Really, not even X2.
I mean, I obviously I like X2, but I mean that's kind of it. And the
What
that
about
like,
Ninja?
oh, okay. I don't dislike any of the coasters. I just mean like in my brain, like the park ranking as a coaster collection was like always super high in my mind, and like that nostalgia factor and everything. But then this time around, it's that realization of like, oh, like the majority of the coasters here I don't love. Like,
Okay, but I still think there's some really solid ones. Okay, Tatsu,
yeah,
X2, Ninja, Riddler.
yeah, I know, I completely agree with you.
Twisted Colossus is also pretty solid.
That one I like, but I always kind of forget it's there. I think it's one of my least favorite RMCs. And maybe that's just because most of the time it's not dueling. Because I think we got one duel on it, right?
I
The
think we
first
got a
summer.
half duel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
And then but like, like Goliath and then Scream and then like Apocalypse. Batman was down. I love the era. Like I love the actual mountain part. Like I basically like X2, Viper, Tatsu, Ninja, Gold Rush. Um, like those kind of
Yeah.
staple
Gold
those
Rusher. Yeah, dude.
yeah, like that part is cool, but then that whole other side of the park is kind of like I don't know. I guess it was just a little bit of that disappointment of oh I like when I was like, oh, I remember as a kid like this was like the best fucking park ever, and now I'm kind of like, now I just feel old, and I some of these rides just don't hit the same way for me anymore. And also too is I mean that park is just so it's very inversion heavy, which obviously as you get older is a little bit harder to marathon through.
Well, yeah, we were definitely speaking about that when we were there. Is that everything in the entire collection there is pretty intense.
Hmm.
And ironically, one of the only rides that's not really intense is X2,
Yeah,
despite the gimmick.
yeah,
It's a very swooshy ride for what it is, which makes sense. Because if it was disorienting and super heavy on the G's, nobody would have liked it.
Yeah. And it is also it like for me, and I mean I guess I only rode on the outside, I think, on most of the rides. It is a little two rides in a row. I kind of tap out on like the roughness of it. I don't think it's like unbearable, but the like there's diminishing returns for me after like the second consecutive ride on it.
Is that is that an old fuck I hear talking over there?
Uh maybe, but it's not because it's uncomfortable. It's more just like it's the gimmick is 20 years old. It's kind of like it's one of those things where riding it
Excuse me, it was refreshed in 2009.
I know that. I guess like I mean like the first couple of rides you take on it are like holy shit, this is absolutely insane, and it's like super exciting and it's new. But now, I mean, the ride is 20 years old. Like the gimmick is it's done. Like it's like been there, and so after like I don't know, that was in my lifetime 5 Magic Mountain visits. Been there, done that. The ride is now a fucking walk on. You go on it and you're kind of like, oh, like I get it. Like I've done this. And then once that excitement wears off, you're kind of just left with the like, the head bouncing around and stuff. Don't get me wrong, I loved every ride we took on it. I'm just saying, like, we rode it like what 6 or 7 times, 6 times, 5 times. Um,
Yeah, at least 4 or 5.
yeah, I guess the ride had more of a lasting impact when you were waiting 90 plus minutes for it and it was newer and that excitement buildup was there. But now the ride as a 20-year-old ride that's a walk on and you can re-ride, which is crazy to think that, like, I mean, like, imagine being whatever, a teenager in that park when that line is long and being like, one day you're going to be in this park and the ride is going to be a walk on. I think that part is always was like kind of a weird mind fuck too. Like that second day we were there was a literal walk on, which is insane to think about. One
I mean,
train,
it was February.
no, I know, but still a one train op walk on for X2, the fourth dimension coaster.
Yeah, that was dope as fuck. Cause like to me, I'm like, yeah, all the coasters at Magic Mountain are very intense, so it's tough to re-ride anything, right? And I think they always count on the fact that there's like a big lineup, so it's like, and it's a big park, like
Mm-hmm.
physically. So it's like, okay, you ride one and then you go to the next one, and in between, you've already walked 10 minutes. So by the time you get off one, get to the entrance of the next one, and wait in whatever line, it's been at least like 20 to 25 minutes,
Yeah.
even if it's a walk on for most of them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so, like, with that in mind, I feel like X2 is one of the only re-rideable coasters in that park.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I mean, like, I definitely would ride that more than once versus anything else there. Even maybe Viper, because I think I only rode that one time each day.
Which, yeah, I want to go there soon and just get a ride on that because I have this weird feeling now that Cedar Fairs is in charge. You know,
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I guess like overall though, there's something about the lineup at Magic Mountain that it's missing something and I can't put my finger on it. And I think it is just a airtime focused kind of hyper slash giga coaster. And if it had that, then it would go back to being a solid lineup. And it's kind of weird to think that the park doesn't have even this, like the state of California doesn't even have that. Like the state of California doesn't have a single just airtime focused big coaster.
No, not
NorCal
really.
NorCal doesn't have one either.
No, but there's not really any big coasters in Northern California per
Really,
se.
and the only coaster that really fits that spot is Ghost Rider.
More or less. I mean, technically, Accelerator, I think, is a hyper coaster.
True. Yeah, and that's kind of a little different. I mean, yeah, but so then when you zoom out again, it's like all right, the whole state of California, two Cedar Fair parks, two Six Flags parks, and the only real like big kind of airtime coasters are Accelerator and yeah, actually, I won't even count Ghost Rider. It's basically Accelerator. Um,
Because,
but
yeah, I
that's
mean,
all. It just Magic Mountain just needs they just need like a
I guess maybe Railblazer.
sort of, but it's such a that's such a like that's not like a big like I know what you mean, and even Wonder Woman too, but like it's not like a Raging Bull. It's not a like one of those timeless, all around loved, re-rideable, big airtime kind of coasters like a Millennium Force, an Orion, a Raging Bull. Um, that's all. That's all. Six Flags just Magic Mountain just needs one of those coasters in the lineup. That's all. I. It's like something has always been missing there, and I hope if Viper gets taken out, and God forbid X2 gets taken out, they have a huge plot with a giant hill right there that they could do something pretty cool with. Now, are they going to do it? I don't know. I also could see them selling, they take out X2 and Viper, and then they just sell that plot to like real estate developers or something because there's that whole neighborhood behind there now. I don't know.
Yeah, but that wouldn't build a whole community. And they probably wouldn't. No, I wouldn't see that happening. Because that's still the entry to the parking lot right there.
Yeah.
Um,
But I
I
mean, does that,
really.
but like that, but I mean, I guess like, but it makes sense though, right? Like they're you do you think they're missing like there is a gap in their lineup somewhere, and I don't know what it is. But it's like
Well, I think it's like a coaster, like you said, something airtime focused that's not like necessarily really intense.
yeah,
Because like even Goliath being the actual hypercoaster, the only traditional style hypercoaster in the entire state, is like it's only got one bunny hill.
yeah, and also too like that the state of California as a whole, their coaster collection is feels very aged at this point. Um, because that's the other thing too. Like what I honestly think that what Cedar Fair does better, because Kings Island and Cedar Point both have arguably the same aging coaster collection, but for some reason, in my opinion, the coasters at Kings Island and Cedar Point feel a little bit more timeless than they do at Magic Mountain.
Wow, that's such a Midwestern bias.
I
Sounds like
know.
you worked at Cedar Point at some point in your life.
I'm just saying I went to both Magic Mountain and Cedar Point in the same season and they had very different feels.
Okay.
Yeah.
This guy knows what he's talking about.
I
It's
think
all
it
about
but
the
also
feels, the
but
vibes of the park.
I also will fully give it to what is probably just the chain not giving. I don't think Magic Mountain gets it gets as much money as it needs to be to sustain itself. Like, you know what I mean? The park needs more money to be nicer. And it's very clear that Cedar Point is the favorite park in the chain. God's Park is going to get all that, and Magic Mountain probably isn't.
I don't know. I think Magic Mountain has a good market share in the LA area.
That's true. That's why they deserve it. Needs more investment.
And I really think if you think about how big the greater LA metro is, Knott's and Magic Mountain will probably both be a little bit better positioned in under a singular corporate umbrella rather than competitors. Because, like, if you were going to buy a Knott's pass because you live in the Knott's area and it only costs you 50 more bucks to add on Magic Mountain, which is the same as a 1 day ticket there, then you might go just add on Magic Mountain.
Yeah. I'm also curious just what the what the previous crossover was, like how many folks were already getting a Six Flags and a Cedar Fair pass. Um, like I'd just be curious, like what percentage of Cedar Fair pass holders also have a Six Flags pass, or vice versa.
I don't know. It's definitely not like a. I got to imagine it's not a huge number, but that's why I'm feeling like it's probably going to work to both parks' benefit.
Yeah. Well, and also too throwing in the if Discovery Kingdom and California's Great America closes, which seems very likely. Um, I have a whole other side theory on tech cities being just full of NPCs who don't like to have fun. Um, with like Wild Waves closing now in Seattle, Portland area is missing a theme park. The Bay Area clearly doesn't care about theme parks. It's all that tech bullshit, killing the fun.
I mean, you're not necessarily wrong, but a lot of that shit moved to Texas.
Yeah. Which Texas kind of seems like it's in the same boat as like Ohio and Florida. Just people appreciate theme parks. It's like part of the culture.
Well, I mean, Florida's kind of on its own because it doesn't need the locals to support the parks in terms of patronage.
No, but I do think though that Florida had well because I mean I always thought that California sort of had that people like people from California were more likely to be a Thuzy adjacent person just based on the amount of theme parks that were adjacent to them. But now it doesn't seem like the case. But Florida seems like it's like that, where, because I mean, my sister lived there. Just people that when you talk to people, people do like, they're like, oh yeah, like we go to SeaWorld in February and we go to Universal when there's like, when it's like locals discount day or whatever. There are like Florida state resident discount things every once in a while. Theme parks are like in the vernacular of people in Florida, even if they don't necessarily go to Disney. They're more likely to go to probably Universal or SeaWorld, one of the SeaWorlds. Or, never mind, SeaWorld and Bush.
Yeah, I mean, it's yeah, definitely California and the Bay Area in particular. It's not. It was like at Great America when I went. Granted, it was opening day, but it was definitely like not. It wasn't like opening day at Great America in Gurney.
Right. It's because tech people look down on theme parks. They think they're gross. They think they're better than theme parks because they've got that Google money.
I'm pretty sure Intel is right near Great America.
Yeah, most likely. Yeah, that sounds right. There's a couple of yeah, there's a couple of like big headquarters right over there. San Jose. That's the thing. Tech just like ruins things, which is really unfortunate. And
As
I
someone who
was
lives in San Francisco,
yeah, it just
where
how
just recently a Waymo killed a cat that lived on our street,
yeah, I saw that.
that literally was on our street.
Oh shit.
I walked by the liquor store that cat lived at like every day to get to the train. That sweet cat named Kit Kat. He sat outside and shit. He'd patrol.
Oh. Yeah, and Seattle is adjacent to that. It's pretty close because of Amazon. It's like a different flavor of the tech bullshit. Um when we were there just recently, um, and I haven't been in a couple years, and it's only my second trip there since I moved away from there in 2020. Um,
Did you hear the blues calling? Tossed salad and scrambled eggs.
sure did. They were all over my face. Um, yeah, the it was a little sad because like I was like showing Craig around and walking around my old neighborhood and stuff, and nothing felt that different. But we also stayed in South Lake Union, which is where Amazon owns like 90% of the real estate. Because
Oh,
because what they do is they basically bought the entire neighborhood in 2008 2009 after the housing market bust. And then what happens is they own so much of the real estate that A, they're able to influence local elections, but B, they're able to artificially um, like restrict the housing supply, so it artificially raises the value. It's like if there's 10 rare baseball cards that are printed and you own 9 of them, right? You're basically able to manipulate the market because you own the supply. So it kind of just fucks up the real estate in the rest of the city. And then what they do is then they lease out the land that they own to franchises that they then own. So it'd be like if it's like so basically they own the land, they own the building, and then they will open a franchise like restaurant that they own that's also Amazon, but they're not paying rent because it's also because they're I don't know if that makes sense. Like normally if you're like I want to open up a Subway, you find some commercial real estate, you find a commercial space and then you pay rent in that commercial space and then you pay a franchise fee and then whatever is left is your profit. So in this case, Amazon is like, we're going to open up a Subway, but we're going to put it inside of the building that we already own and that we're also leasing out to other companies and they're paying us rent that goes directly into our pocket. It's it's basically they're just able to manipulate an entire neighborhood and they've completely jacked it up. Anyway, we've stayed there. We stayed in a hotel there and everyone felt like an NPC. Like everyone walking around, it was like the classic joke of NPCs. Like, just it's like, what do people do here? Like, there's thousands of people who live in this neighborhood, but like, and yet it seems like no one actually is doing anything. No one's interacting with each other. There's no real like neighborhood feel. Like, it's
hey,
just,
there's a Chipotle.
yeah, it's like people work from home and then they sit at home and then they get their groceries delivered. And I get that's how people do that everywhere, but I don't know. It was just weird. It had a spooky vibe. Uh, but yeah, tech is literally ruining everything, and it's going to kill us all, and we are fucked. So,
I, for one, welcome our new ant overlords. No, I do think AI is fucking it's like being used for the stupidest shit.
Yeah. So this is yeah, and that's why I especially and what's really sad is AI and porn is going to get really bad. Um it's terrifying. Even if it's not like chatbots, like sex chatbots and stuff or like AI image porn, it'll be the AI will be able to influence your algorithm in like your news feed for things to the point where I mean like let's be honest like news scrolling through news feeds and scrolling through like reels and all that shit like is already pretty addictive but the AI is going to eventually be used to further enhance the addictive nature of those things so like it will be able to figure out like I was watching this YouTube video about it where anyway, the algorithm will just get more and more advanced and become more and more addictive, and it'll use these like very what do you call it like okay like we're all naturally we all have like a sexual attraction right to certain things that we don't even really fully understand and it will use those kind of patterns shapes and recognitions in apps and news feeds to become more addictive if that makes sense.
Sure. Yeah. It made me think of like a bit you could do where you like where it'd be like, okay, AI porn is getting ridiculous. I wanted to look up, you know, a guy who looks like me, fucking a hot lady. And I was like, this is crazy. That guy looks like me so much, except my thing's not that big. And I only have one of them.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. And well, it's kind of true. Like, and so what'll happen is, so like ads right now are not really dynamic, but eventually they will be. So like, eventually like your phone or your user will have a learned profile. So when you scroll through a news feed and it's showing you ads, you might be seeing an ad for like um fucking allergy medication. But in the ad, it might show someone that resembles you and another person that resembles someone that you're attracted to.
And
And
just flash tits.
that would be
Do
hilarious.
you sneeze sometimes? Boobs.
um but kind of like that's but like in a way where like if someone just showed you that image and like do you like this image you might be like yeah that's a cool image and you won't know why you like it but it'll figure out those types of weird details and it'll just get more and more and more refined um because that's kind of the next thing is dynamic advertising. So like we right now we have curated ads to where showing you topics that you're interested in, but eventually it'll be topics that you're interested in and also the image that you see for that ad in that company will be also curated to what your preferences are. Um and it's just going to keep learning and get more and more advanced. So if you are a serial I guess newsfeed scroller, reels, shorts, TikTok, and on your phone, you might want to relearn some of those habits before the algorithm shit gets more and more intense. Because that's the problem. These AI companies, they can't figure out a way to make money. Um, no one's going to pay. They're not going to be able to become profitable by people paying subscriptions to use, like ChatGPT 7 or any specialized AI bot or something. So the only way these companies are going to make money is literally through porn and through like these advanced um, advertising kind of applications. So it's getting it spooky.
Yeah, wild. All right, I need a pee break real quick.
Okay.
AI and tech are gonna ruin us all.
I know. What sucks too is like imagine like I feel thankful that I grew up in an era where you didn't just get like instant porn on your phone. Our days it was pixelated. You had to use your imagination.
Yeah, I remember when porn on the internet was just pictures.
I feel bad for the young ones. 'Cause especially like going back to the just general addiction thing, like the economy is fucked, cost of living is fucked, but you got a phone. You got a phone with limited access to everything.
Damn straight.
But you also have RMCs.
Well, and let's talk about this, right? The price to go to like Magic Mountain or Cedar Point is I think pretty much the same as it was 25 years ago, dollar
Yeah.
amount wise.
Yeah. Like a ticket is at the gate is like,
60 bucks,
yeah.
50, 60 bucks, which is like the same as it was in 2003.
Hmm.
How fucking crazy is that?
Yeah. Cause adjusted for inflation, that should be like at a minimum at least double.
Right, and we talked about it in Southern California when we had our meetup that like food at a theme park now is the same as like fast food places
Yeah.
outside the gates.
Yeah.
So it's not, the value proposition is the same to just eat inside and not lose the time.
Hmm. Yeah. Cause a burger and fries and the like that Moose Burger place or Moose Jaw, whatever the hell it was in Great America was probably 14 bucks if I had to guess in the mid 2000s. And to the point where as a high schooler driving down to Six Flags for the day, anything over 10 bucks was like too much. $10 was like the budget for the day.
Yeah, well, at that time, like $12 could get you an insane amount of food at like Taco Bell.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, like I'd probably there were probably days where once I filled up the car, I had maybe a 20 that would have to get through the whole day. And that was usually like a pack of turnies, an energy drink, which brings you up to probably $7, maybe a roller dog and a soda for like two something. And then at the when the park closed, about $10 to then get a couple things at Taco Bell, which was usually a $2 meal deal, which got you a half-pound burrito, a bag of Doritos, and cheesy Fiesta potatoes. Or no, sorry, and a drink. And then like get cheesy Fiesta potatoes, maybe a quesadilla. You're just under $10.
Yeah, I remember like that or like White Castle,
Yeah.
which I guess you could still get some sliders for a decent price, but like just like yeah, it seemed like there was plenty more options for cheaper food than inside a park.
Yeah. Because even like a Burger King meal was $7 usually.
Yeah, whereas that's like $12 on the cheap end now.
Hmm. Yeah.
Where it's like if it's $12 for a Burger King meal, might as well just pay the 13 or $14 in the park.
Yeah. And
So
maybe
yeah,
that's
it's like
and maybe that's got to adjust. I don't know. Like I'm curious what the market research is telling Six Flags about that right now. Like if they raise prices, is it really going to cut into um, their revenue. I also, because I also, my other fear was, I remember we talked about this before, was that the chain was trying to go towards a like higher cost model. So like basically less guests, but higher revenue through raising ticket prices and raising the price of like flash pass and all that stuff. Um, but I don't know if they're going to go that way with the merger now. That seemed to be a, was that guy Salim?
Yeah.
That's kind of like what his direction was, where his direction was going, and then the merger happened, and now it seems like they're going back more towards the model of get everyone a pass, like get as many people a pass as possible, and then try to keep people into the park as long as possible.
I mean, that's a pretty good model post merger
Yeah.
because of the fact that like they now have like a park within probably like 70+% of the entire population, like within
Mm,
a day's drive,
right.
and possibly more.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
I feel like think about like when we were kids. If you could get a pass at Great America that worked at Kings Island and Cedar Point, bless you.
Thanks. Yeah, I
But
mean,
like if
and
that was
even
the case, it'd have been like, fuck, we have to make up an excuse to just like get to Cedar Point.
mhm, yeah, that's true.
And like or like Valley Fair or whatever. You know what I mean? Like if
Well,
you know your pass is good at all these parks that you can get to,
yeah,
when
and I'm
we were
curious.
kids, like that would have been like all the more incentive to get to the parks.
Mhm. This is probably a terrible business idea, but imagine if they started to offer like um, transportation between parks. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like get a bus ticket from Great America to Kings Island to Cedar Point on a 3-day weekend and get a deal on 2 hotel stays, something like that, to like encourage um, the multi park visits.
That could be genius if they tied it with their hotels.
Yeah, I don't know, like that's the thing though. Like, I don't, you probably wouldn't be able to offer that every day or even every weekend to make it profitable, because who would actually do that? I don't know, unless they like partnered with Megabus or some shit. Or, yeah, I don't think there's a viable way to do that as a bit, to make it profitable, but it'd be something kind of cool. Or even if they just did hotels, they gotta be creative and figure out a way to get people to, besides enthusiasts, to then, visit other parks in the chain. It's like, hey, you got this pass, you got this whole portfolio of parks at your disposal now.
I would love to do another Cedar Point trip and stay at Breakers.
Yeah. Yeah, we stayed a night in Breakers, and it was actually pretty cool. Um,
It's not like the hotel's super nice or anything. It's
no.
just the location is so optimal.
Yeah. Also, that pavilion and boardwalk thing was it was executed pretty well. It was nice because it was nice to be able to eat food and not have to wait in a super long line, because they had two different options, or like two different restaurants inside of the pavilion. Like one had barbecue stuff, and then the other one had like classic burgers and, tenders and stuff. Um, there's like four separate lines. It moves quick. There's plenty of open seating. You're right on the lake. They pulled that off pretty well. And also too, just being able to walk from there to Breakers on the boardwalk. And
Yeah, that boardwalk would be fantastic.
they also had a lot of live entertainment also, which was kind of cool. So there was like different, like there was like an acrobatic performer thing, and they had synchronized kites, and there were just like various kind of like acts and stuff at nighttime. It was a really good vibe. Definitely something that that park never had before, and now it's like has more of that kind of resort feel, which is cool.
Yeah, that's what I'd like to do there because, like, Breakers is just such a good location for that park
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
because it's like you can do the early entry.
Also, too, we're able to get to go drinks at that bar, and then we hung out on the beach after the park closed.
Yeah, dude, and now it's legal in Ohio, so you could just smoke out there probably.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, that's even better. I find that now in my like mid 30s, I'm big on taking a midday break on a
Yeah.
long park day.
Yeah.
So like anytime the hotel is walking distance from the park, that's like a huge bonus.
Yeah, for sure.
You mean I can sit for an hour and take my shoes off without really worrying about missing too much during the busiest part of the day? Fuck yeah.
Yeah. I think the only downside of Cedar Point is that um there's no convenience store. And this was like peak of my Zen phase this summer because I did this trip in the middle of um staying in Duluth for the month of August because we were up there for a couple weeks, and which was a fucking nightmare. Oh my god, I totally forgot about that already. I had to take a shuttle from Duluth to Minneapolis, which is a 3 hour drive.
Oh my god.
And the shuttle runs at the worst times. So my flight to Richmond, I had to leave Duluth at 11:45 p.m.
Good lord.
So I got on the shuttle, and then I got to Minneapolis airport at like 3:30 in the morning, and my flight wasn't until 6:30. So just like having to sit, and also this is terminal. So there's terminal 1 and terminal 2. Terminal 2 is like, or terminal, yeah, terminal 2 is their non-international hub. So there's like nothing really open and nowhere to really like, hang out. Um, and then a bar opened at 4 a.m. and I sat down. I ate breakfast, and the bartender's like, "Hey, we got a special. Get a free shot if you order a tall beer or so whatever it was." And I'm like, "Dude, it's 4 a.m." I was like, I didn't sleep last night. And then of course there was these like, typical Minnesotans next to me. They were going to Vegas. They're on like a 6 a.m. Vegas flight. So of course they were getting hammered. Um, yeah, and then flew to Richmond, connected through Chicago. Or no, connected through Baltimore. Never mind. And then on the flight back, I flew from Toledo? No, Dayton. I think it was Dayton. Dayton to Midway to Minneapolis. I got stuck in Midway for 7 hours because of a thunderstorm, and I closed out the bar. It closed at 10, and then our flight didn't board until 1:45 a.m.
Oh damn.
Yeah, and Midway is also, it's not O'Hare, so there's literally nothing open after 10 p.m. in that airport. Um, so yeah, get on the board this fucking flight, land in Minneapolis at 3 a.m., and then I had to wait till 7 a.m. to take the shuttle from Minneapolis back up to Duluth. Um, so it was miserable. Miserable. Anyway, what I was saying is there was nowhere to get Zins on the peninsula, which was kind of a bummer.
No, you got to bring all your alcohol and shit with you. and weed and all that,
Yeah.
and snacks and all that shit.
Yeah. So that's the only downside, but otherwise, yeah, it's lovely.
Not really a downside though. You just got to plan ahead.
Yeah. I know. Also, that Breakers coffee that Starbucks inside of the Breakers made the mistake of trying to get a drink there at 8:45 a.m.
Oh God.
and there was literally 25 people in line,
Yeah,
and
you
there's
got to go
like
at like 6 a.m.
yeah, and there's like two poor people like working only, and you're just like, oh my god, I feel so bad. Like, and then there is a Starbucks inside of the park that was a lot nicer. So, well, shit. I need to hop off soonish.
I mean, it
What's
has
up?
been almost 2.5 hours.
Yeah, but I'm glad that we got yeah, glad we got one in.
Same, same. It feels right to close out the year with an episode. Maybe we can do a couple more.
Yeah, I got I mean, I'm going to Wisconsin next week for a couple days, but I'm around that whole week between Christmas and New Year's. So, I've got time.
For sure, yeah. I might be in Vegas. We'll see. We shall see. Um, but yeah, I think I'll let you know. Hopefully, we can record something
Cool.
or whatever. But this has been awesome, and I'm glad we're able to do it. It's been a good time. Uh, shit, you got anything else?
No, I'm all good.
All right. Well, for the first time in a long while, thank you all for listening so much. And until next time, your
Your
favorite
favorite
coaster
coaster sucks.
sucks.